Hello, hello. How is everyone today? It is Friday. I'm so excited. And it's so nice to be back with you guys. Sales hasn't been at our open office hour sessions in a little bit. So we've got a full house for you guys today, but we're first just going to start out by introducing ourselves. So I'm Brandy. I'm the sales director here at Syncro.
Hey everybody, it's Hannah. Happy Friday. If it's still Friday, where are you at? Good morning, good evening, good night. We're so excited to see you guys. Shoot, did I say my name already? I'm Hannah, and I'm an account executive here at Syncro.
Hey everybody, awesome to be here. Glad to have everyone here. My name's Steven. I am also an account exec. Happy Friday.
Hey everyone, my name's Mike. I am also an account executive, so let's triple down. Happy Friday again. I'm excited to chat with all of you.
And we have two extra special guests that we don't normally get to have at our open office hours today. So August, I'll hand it to you first.
Yeah, they decided to rope me in over here, talk to you guys here in the Synchro open office hours. My name is August. I primarily do repair shopper sales, talk to people about repair shopper, but any chance I get, I love to talk about Synchro as well as people. So yeah, thank you so much for letting me join in today. I'm excited to see it going. You know, I do these on the repair shopper side, but you know, they're nowhere near as heavily attended. So I'm excited to take on some questions and help out as best as I can.
And he is like our PSA master. So we're really excited to have him. And then last but not least.
My name is Daniel. I'm the solution specialist here at Syncro.
Awesome. And Daniel's kind of downplaying what he does here, but Daniel was a tech at an MSP for many years that ended up migrating to Syncro. So he is an extremely valuable asset to this team, extremely knowledgeable. Normally when sales is in here and you guys are asking the technical questions, we're over here chatting Daniel. So we brought him in today to help us out. But this is your normal open office hour session. So there is absolutely nothing that is off the table. This is your time. We've got an hour together, so let's use it wisely. If you all have questions, anything that's been on your mind, feel free to pop those in the Q&A. That is actually going to be the easiest way for us to manage questions today. The six of us may be dropping some links into the chat box. You guys will notice that you won't be able to chat back there, but it might be KBs, it might be videos, it might be email addresses, you name it. I like to mention that those links will go away when the session is over today. So make sure we'll try to remember. I always say I try to remember like 5 or 10 minutes before the session just to grab those links real quickly. But we're here and we do have some exciting stuff. We had a couple things that Daniel has been teaching us as well, just from the MSP standpoint. So if we do notice that there's no questions for a couple minutes, then we're going to put him on the spot and ask him to share some pretty cool stuff in some ways that he has used Syncro. But we have a huge, thank you. We have a huge group with us today, which is awesome. So feel free to start. Who's going to kick us off with some questions? Because if not, you guys know this group likes to talk. So we're going to start talking about some features we like. And it is being recorded, so it will be posted to YouTube probably by Monday. Got a couple questions rolling in.
Yeah, I can take this one here from John. John is asking, is there a way to import and export ticket worksheets? That is a great question, John. Unfortunately, not that I know of. I don't know if Daniel, if you know of a way to do it. Not that I necessarily know of. Just to talk about ticket worksheets, I just want to be able to share my screen here so that everybody can, if you haven't used ticket worksheets, they are awesome. I want to go ahead and just show them off. So I'm here in the admin section. And so under tickets and ticket worksheets, this is what John is referring to. You can attach these to ticket custom fields. You can pop them into tickets so that it's helpful for you and your team to do processes. And you can even make them public so that they're shared on ticket PDFs that you send to your clients, or you can even make them visible in their portal. And so ticket worksheets are awesome. John, we just don't have a way to import or export them at this time. I will pass that along as a feature request.
I will just add on, our API technically has worksheet results as a get, post, put, like calls. So that's the API though. So, you know, have good luck, but it's there.
Hey,
So theoretically, it's possible.
Yes, I'll drop that API documentation in the chat box.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Oh, John says a great feature request would be a community ticket worksheet library similar to the script library. So I totally agree. And I think all 6 of us would. We're working on some really cool stuff this year. And so these requests really do help us. If you don't know, we do have a new community. So at the community.syncromsp.com, we can drop the link there. It's actually an excellent place to request features, to chat amongst other peers. Our whole support team is in there, and that's how you'll create tickets and such now too. So we can drop that in there. You also see all the great trainings we're adding and improving trainings every day, which is awesome. Hannah always beats me to it, so she dropped the link in the chat box for you guys. But yeah, make yourselves loud when you think of a great idea and something that would help you do your job more efficiently. Let's post it in there.
I'll grab this one from Kimberly. Saying, how do I assign an asset as managed or non-managed? And then so that when searching for Windows updates, I get a list of only the managed PCs. I will share my screen here. When you're in the asset module, you're going to be able to select here, type Synchro device. This is going to be your managed PCs. You'll see here when I search, it's only going to filter by actual computers that are managed and not show any of the other unmanaged. For the Windows updates, there's actually this really cool report. It's one of my favorites here under the RMM. Vulnerable systems. You're going to be able to see every asset, how many updates they're missing, which KBs, the categories. You can filter by customer, filter by categories here, and then you can also just like ad hoc push the install. But yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for that, Daniel. I'm going to take a couple in here. Okay, I better move my little questions over there and share my screen. We're going to take this first one from Greg. So Greg is asking, in the customer portal, when they are viewing the portal, is there any way the customer can see notes on the ticket? There definitely is. So I'm going to head over to Peter Parker's web solutions. You guys, we don't have Larry anymore. It's Peter Parker. We're moving it on up. And so inside the customer portal, remember that you do need to give them access to view the tickets. And so here, if they click inside the ticket, what they can see are your public notes. So if you're leaving public notes inside a ticket, they could see those. And then they can also make comments back to you, which then you would be able to see as well. So hopefully that helps. Nader has a question. He says, I'm trying to wrap my head around block hours as a part of the recurring invoice that also includes a software subscription. I don't know how to make sure the hours expire at the end of the month. Great question. So remember that when you're doing your prepaid hours, you do need to create that as a specific product and service. If you don't have this active in your account, like you don't see the option to select prepaid hours, it's in the admin section. It's in 2 places, actually. It's under customers and it's under inventory that you can enable the prepaid hours feature. Once you have that, you can create prepaid hours products that now are going to supply the customer's accounts with the prepaid hours. And where you can do that is in the recurring invoice. So in the invoices section, you'll be able to select recurring invoices. So here for you, there's going to now be the ability for you to add in a recurring type that is a prepaid hour, but then you're also going to have this feature, which is clear or reset the prepaid hours. That way you're making sure that they're expiring at the end of the month and that we're replenishing them if you'd like. Perfect. I think I grabbed one more. Scott is asking, is there a way to attach documentation to an asset rather than at the customer level? Most definitely. So, good question. Okay. The documentation pages, 2 things to this. If it's a documentation page, you cannot attach this to the asset level, but you can put document attachments to the asset level. So If you scroll down on your asset, you'll be able to add attachments here, but the documentation page itself cannot have an asset. Daniel, can you tag an asset in a documentation page?
The one workaround you can do is you can like use a hyperlink. So you can just link directly to the asset in the document. That's like the best way around it. Do I have a good example on the spot here? So yeah, actually I can share my screen real quick. And I can give like a real quick example.
Yep.
So here's like a document I created for like one specific customer. Like I made hyperlinks like straight to like their servers, specific workstations. You can also do internal, external links as well. But there's like one way around that is you can use the hyperlink function in the document.
Cool. Thank you so much for that. Let me see if I had one more. Oh, Scott was also asking about the password locker at the asset level. So the way to accomplish that would be to be using Password Vault in the App Center that allows you to create custom fields that are encrypted. So Password Vault is going to be in the App Center. We don't have the global password that you create anywhere on the Synchro team, so please don't forget it. But this allows you to create custom fields that now can house passwords for you.
Awesome. You guys are bringing the heat today. Oh my goodness. There's so many questions. So this is awesome. Keep in mind, we do see all of the questions. So we're all kind of grabbing them. You'll probably notice that. If yours is like hanging out at the top, if you're like, I submitted that 15 minutes ago, chances are we're trying to find out an answer for you. So I promise you, we are going to try to get through every single one of these today. I have a couple questions in here. So we have, is there a way to group all assets by clients? Whenever I click on assets, I get all assets. It would be nice to group them by clients as we were doing in Splashtop. So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys really quickly. I'm definitely familiar with the view you're looking for. But there's a couple different things. So one, if I just want to look for, I have to remember that you guys renamed this. If you want to look for a specific customer here, you can just go ahead and search and you're going to be able to get all assets just for that specific customer. You can also, this is one of my favorite things here, are the saved asset searches. So if you want to create saved asset searches and you want to create one that's like for I want to say Larry's business, Peter Parker's Web Solutions or Crown IT or whatever it may be. I say that because it's my last name. And then we could go here, and then out here on the left, you essentially do have those lists of the devices by customer. So that would be one way to do it. And then let me see here. I think I grabbed another question. Brian, so he's asking, in customer portal, does a user see all of their tickets or just theirs? Hannah is dropping some knowledge for you guys, which is awesome. So in the customer portal, there's actually a couple different ways you can do it. So you're going to have different permissions. So the first thing is, if we pop into our admin section and we go under customers, you're going to see your portal user permission groups. If you have somebody, for example, maybe it's a manager, an owner, etc., you want them to have access to all of their devices at their customer or at their company, or all of the tickets for all of their users, you can do that. So by default, just an admin is going to have access to everything. If you have other employees for that customer, or it's like an internal IT department and there's different managers in these departments, you may want to remove some of the permissions for the individuals. So, okay, instead of seeing all tickets, I want them to just see their own. So I would just remove this section. Same thing with assets. So you can definitely set these up. And then I'll also show you one more thing when we open up the customer page. Where is Peter Parker? Here we go. Then whenever we are setting up our permissions right here, I would select a specific contact, and then I would be able to choose, these names are great. You would be able to choose which permissions they have here. I'll remove that so nobody gets stuck here. Hopefully that helps.
Okay, I'm so sorry, you guys. I think I'm totally next. So Madan Kumar is asking, hey guys, I was stuck in when I migrate assets from LogMeIn to Synchro. So can you please kindly give me an idea of how to do it for future migration? And then I think there was a follow-up question. Okay, kind of the same question. So let me go ahead and share my screen to kind of show you all of the installation options. And then we might just need some more information about the access that you currently have for doing it via LogMeIn. And maybe Daniel can kind of chime in on what he thinks might be the best way. But if you can do a command through LogMeIn, that is definitely one way to do it. And so with a new asset for when we're doing the installer, remember you're going to have EXE installers, MSI installers, we have our new Mac agent, and then we also have the command line prompt. So this might be one way to do it. We also have a PowerShell script that's already pre-created, which I can drop in the chat box if you want to kind of run that through with your use of LogMeIn. And then you also can just email out the link for download. So I just want to make sure that we point that out because that might be another way to make sure that we're getting the agent out and installed.
So I think we can tell that Brandy and Hannah do this more than anyone else here because we got Potts and Steven over here, like me kind of being like, So I'm going to jump in. So I will share my screen here. I've been prepping up some answers here real quick. So I had a question from somebody and I'm going to find it here. Rick asks, we visit clients' offices on a regular occurrence every week, fortnight, or month. A great word, fortnight there. There's a way to schedule the creation of those tickets and calendar appointments. So spoiler alert, I'm on the recurring tickets schedules list here. So there is a way to create recurring tickets. For calendar appointments, we do not have a setup in the software to set up recurring appointments at this time, but recurring tickets are a great strategy for that because instead of having to go ahead and pre-plan a time on your calendar, you can set up, hey, a monthly timer, like, hey, don't forget to like coordinate a time, on your week, fit it in to create that appointment, call the customer. But over here on the admin settings, you can see your tickets, recurring tickets, and recurring tickets have a lot of great functionality and features. So you can create a new template. I'm just going to jump into one of these here. We're doing this one with Larry every day. Of course, not running anymore, which is probably okay. You can set up your settings, your details, assign it to people. You can even, choose to email. You can choose to, assign worksheets, assign assets, all these things that you might want to do there. So it's a really helpful way because that'll pull up into your queue. Of course, if the ticket's assigned to you, you can get a notification email so you can know like, hey, I've got to work on this. And so definitely really handy there. So you can kind of get that going. Of course, if you wanted to set a different priority due dates, you could change up due dates as well there. But yeah, I think that'd be a good way to handle that situation there. And I did have a few questions here related to QuickBooks, and so I took the bullet there. I'm going to try to answer those questions here for the team. So we had a question here, two around what syncs basically. Is there a way to delay the sync to QuickBooks on estimates and tickets? And so with QuickBooks, we're not syncing tickets or estimates to QuickBooks. And so I feel the simple answer is no, but I will take this follow-up answer talking about invoice sync to take a moment to explain a little bit about that syncing for you. Of course, we do have some great resources related to QuickBooks syncing, of course, the knowledge base articles, the community forum has a lot of resources there as well, our YouTube channel. But with our integrations there, you are able to sync each invoice over to, and it looks like we haven't set this up all the way, but we have a little settings. That's not going to show all the settings, but it'll show at least a better kind of view. You can sync invoices over to QuickBooks. Of course, there's other settings here. This is showing the ones that are for QuickBooks Desktop, but QuickBooks Online also lets you set over some other preferences there. But yes, every invoice would get synced over. Your invoice list would show you all of those invoices that are being synced as well, so you can resync it if necessary. But hope that answers those quick little questions there about QuickBooks. I don't see any others popping up there, so yeah, I'll pass it on.
We've got one more from Nariza, which is about similarly with the syncing. So right in that page that August showed, that is where you can resync essentially from QuickBooks to Syncro or Syncro to QuickBooks. And then August or Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, it will deduplicate so that it won't affect the existing data. Is that right?
Yeah. So like, your QuickBooks settings, like if you need to go back in and like import customers from QuickBooks, you can do that. If you have a scenario, I don't know the question mark. Yeah, so if you have a scenario like on the customer level as well, you can push them over. I believe there might be some, we don't have it set up here on this account, so I won't be able to show off like the link, but I think there's some actions there, generally there with like, you can view that. If you're having any specific like customers you're having problems with, you can definitely let our support team know. I know there's been some challenges where if you have a customer with the same email address in QuickBooks, that can cause problems with those customers syncing over. In Syncro, you have to have unique email addresses. So that could be a thing to look at as well. Oh, wait, Brian's followed up on that answer. I'm gonna just grab it real quick. Sorry, you meant invoices. Cool. I kind of guessed. Need a 5-minute delay or a submit button. It syncs before you're finished. Well, if you make any other updates, those will get synced over to QuickBooks as well. So if it's syncing and you're not finished, if you make changes, those changes do get synced as well. So it's not delaying it. There's not like a button to press to submit it. With QuickBooks Online, it's kind of just going to happen automatically. QuickBooks Desktop has the web connector. You can change the sync times there, but yeah, any changes you make after it's synced will get reach synced. And there is a button in the Invoices actions where you can go and resync it if you make changes that you need pushed kind of quicker. You can just go to like your actions and there'll be a button that says like, this one says resync to 0. So say the same thing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, Franny, go ahead.
Okay, I have a couple in here. So Craig, he has a question about patch management and a way to blacklist updates. So I'm just this is not me spilling the beans. It's something that we have mentioned. I just have to, preface this in our fireside chat at the end of the year, at the end of December. And patch management is a really big priority for Syncro, and we are making some really huge updates to that. So you should be seeing those updates coming soon. But what I want to mention in the meantime is if you are Microsoft, heaven forbid they put out a bad patch, right? So never happens. So what we're going to do is in the categories, you would just unselect that specific category. So if I know, okay, that is in the security update or that's in the critical update, I'm not going to select that category. And then those patches are not going to install any of the KBs under that specific category. If I realize, hey, you know what, I actually do need to go install some of those patches, but not all, I can go into one of the reports that Daniel was showing earlier, either vulnerable systems or missing patches by KB. Either one of those report, I could say, okay, I do want to install those 3 KBs on all devices. So I could go ahead and do that here. I could install selected, or I could go to perfect. This device is missing 2 KBs. I'm going to go ahead and install those here. So today, that's how it would be done, but we hear you loud and clear. Trust me. And then while I'm here also, let me go ahead and take, I think I have another one that's in here.
Looks like it has to do with Splashtop.
Splashtop, yes, Noric. And I apologize if I am pronouncing that wrong. Are there limitations in Splashtop as a Syncro client in the Splashtop full version? So the Splashtop for Syncro clients, it is the Splashtop for RMM. So it's going to be the same product you're going to receive with others. It's not like the Splashtop business. I'm not 100% certain all of the details, but it's not a product that is sold specifically through Splashtop, so others wouldn't be able to receive that. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that. And I think that's it for me for now.
Cool. Since August broke in and commented, I'll join in too. I think Potts is going to be next. So I have a question here from Nick. Is there a way to add worksheet to a ticket based on keywords in a ticket subject? And the answer to that is yes. So as everyone does here, let me go ahead and share my screen. When you come in here to the admin section, you'll be able to scroll down to the ticketing section and see you have the ability to add ticket worksheets, and then you can eventually add those tickets right to within the ticket. So based off of, if you've been on a demo with me, you've probably seen this virus removal worksheet pretty much every time. So being able to add this ticket or worksheet based to the ticket based off of a specific custom field within your ticket itself. Now, there was another question related to the customer portal, and Potstar, I'm going to steal it. But if they have access to tickets, either to view mine or view all, can they also see internal notes on those tickets, or are those only available to technicians? So if the ticket is if the note on the ticket is placed through as a private note, that is only being able to be seen by your technicians, anybody who has a Synchro license. If it is done through a public note, sorry, same thing, public note, they're able to see that within their ticket, and they're able to communicate through their portal with you as well. Hopefully that answers.
Cool, it's me next. And so Boss has a good question. Is there a way to keep track of expirations, for example, certificates or warranties? Most definitely, we have a couple of things for you. So if you are selling the warranty, we definitely have a way for you to create warranty templates. That's going to be in the admin section. So if you're selling that warranty with something that, a product that you are selling to the customer, you can create warranty templates. They will be under the what I thought was the invoices, or I'm sorry, the inventory section. Yeah, they're right here. And so you can apply these to products, and these are going to be tracked when you make the sale to your customer. So this is one way to do it. If it's just, hey, this endpoint or this device has an inventory, I'm sorry, not an inventory, a expiration date that I need to keep track of, you can do that with a date custom field. So on assets, you can create date custom fields to keep track of that warranty date. And then in the notification center, which we're actually going to go to next because there's a ton of great questions about notifications, that then you can get a notification for when that date field is coming up, either 7 days or 30 days in the future. And you can decide how you want to be notified. We also do have an integration with ScalePad or Warranty Master, as they used to be called. So that's another thing that you could do as well. So hopefully that helps. And then we have got a lot of good questions about the notification center. So I'm going to read a couple of the questions, and then Daniel, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and I'm going to have you kind of say some best practices and recommendations for notifications. So for example, like John is asking, what's the best way to get notified about new tickets and ticket replies? I'm struggling to find the best way besides email to get notified of new tickets when I'm not in front of my computer. Joe is asking how to get notified when somebody starts or sends a chat: web browser, text, email, cell push. And I think there was even one more. So in terms of notifications, those are all going to be customized here in the notification center. And Daniel, I'm wondering if you have recommendations for new tickets or ticket replies or the chats. Like, what is the best way that you felt like you liked getting notified?
Oh, great question. So one thing I tried that I actually really liked is we used Microsoft Teams a lot, and we created a specific channel for all new chats, new tickets, and we created our own notification set to push all those straight into the Teams channel. That way you can quickly review, or you get pop up on your Teams notification, or if you have Teams on your phone. That way, you can also go back. You'll have a history. We did something similar too with all the RMM alerts. So we made our own channel for RMM alerts and notifications, and we pushed it all to a one Teams channel. If it gets too noisy or you're busy working a client, you can mute the Teams channel and then just turn it back on. That's definitely one way to approach it.
Cool. Nice. And so just remember, there's a lot of different ways that you can get notified here. So especially for those chats, a lot of people, especially that won't be in the web browser all the time, getting that pushed to the mobile app. And then for specific ones that you really need to make sure you're notified on, we get 200 SMS text messages per month with the account. So using SMSs. And then another helpful thing is just you can have a catch-all email. So if there's not really you're wanting to kind of have all of the alerts come to your email, maybe we want another catch-all email that can be added into the additional email section.
Perfect. So I have something from Scott here. It says feature request. It would be nice to be able to schedule a recurring ticket on the day of the week rather than just weekly every 7 days from the last one I sent. Totally hear you loud and clear. I will definitely put it into our internal team so we can look into this for you. Also, too, just to make a note while we're at it, anyone that's working with, one of us lovely people, if you guys ever have a feature request that you'd love to get added to Synchro, let us know. Our team on the back end is always looking for ways to, better make this a user experience for you guys. So never hesitate to reach on out. But thank you so much, Scott. We'll definitely shoot that on over their way.
I'm gonna just ask a question for Brianna. I apologize that we are not ignoring your question, but I do have a little bit of clarifying information I'd love to get. So welcome back. First of all, thanks for joining us today. Question about contracts and invoicing. Maybe we can read this out loud and we can talk about it. But if a contract expires like January 31st and a new contract begins February 1st, will I be able to invoice the client at the January rates, which will then be on the block list for 2/1 contract? So I think I need a little bit more clarification. If you're wanting to invoice them like January before the February 1st contract goes into place, then yes, anything that you had on the contract that's still going until the end of January will be in place. So if there's any products that are on the block list, if there's special pricing, anything that's included, then that will be on that invoice. In terms of anything prior, I guess anything that's going to be billed after February 1st and beyond would be on the new contract rate. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if I'm missing anything there, but let us know and we can talk through it. That's just kind of how I read it.
This is amazing, you guys. There are so many questions. We are so excited.
I was going to say, we have a huge list of questions. So those of you who have joined us, oh, perfect. Good. Those of you who have joined us before, and it's like, we can answer your question the minute that you type it. I promise you, we have a huge list of questions. So I apologize for the delay, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. And oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Daniel Dobson, if you don't mind adding just some additional information, your question is there a way to configure clients for no billing so that while generating billing reports, no invoices are emailed to the customer? I'm wondering what you're generating. And is it that you are wanting to send out like 0 line item invoices, or we don't want that to send out? So let me know.
All right, perfect. So we have a question from Raul here. I hope my question is not too basic. Can you give us a quick rundown on how to install applications using Chocolaty? First off, no question too basic. That's why we're here to help. Second, I'm guessing you're saying Chocolaty, so that's what I'm going to kind of walk you through. But yes, it is really easy to set up. Let's go ahead, get my screen loaded up here.
Personally,
So,
I think I like Chocolaty better.
I know Chocolaty might be a better name anyways. We should have a conversation with them. But perfect. So how you're going to do that, you're actually going to jump into your policies tab here. So once you have a policy created, one of the subsections is third-party updates. So you will go ahead and click on the third-party patch policies, go ahead and create a new one. We'll just jump into an existing one here. But if there's anything not on this checklist, scrolling down to the bottom, this add application is actually what's going to give you access to Chocolaty's full community repository. So at this point, there's over, I want to say the new numbers like 9,000 applications for you to choose from. So definitely go ahead, you can search through those, find anything you like. If there also too, just so you know, is a one-off application that may not be within Chocolaty's community repository, what you can do is under the assets and RMM page, if you wanted to go ahead and do a quick saved asset search by missing devices, you can go ahead and look for those there as well. And if there's any way you want to run an executable via script, you can do that within the scripting section. All you got to do is upload that new file and run the new script.
Is it me? I think it's
you.
me. Yes. Okay. So I've got a couple in here. Greg is asking, I use the non-billable ticket status when I do tickets. A side effect of this is that it looks like as though none of my tickets are actually closed. Is there a way that I could set up a custom status that would mark the status as closed, but still non-billable essentially? So yes, let me go ahead and share my screen. When you're making custom statuses and you're wanting to denote that that ticket is resolved, just make sure you have resolved in the beginning of that custom status. That way, all of like the automations that are connected to a ticket being resolved are still going to be there. It just needs to have that resolved portion in there first. So when you make your custom statuses, and I'm here in tickets under preferences in the admin section, just make sure you've got resolved in there first so that the ticket understands that it's resolved, even though it's not technically a billable item. So hopefully that helps. William has a question. How do we get email sent to other techs when a comment is made on the communication body on a ticket? So that is back in the notification center. There is a customized option so that when comments are mated, whoa, I just made up a word. Sorry, guys. Are made on tickets, that then they can get specific notifications. So be sure to check those out. Dawn has a question. As an end user, is there access to reports, i.e. the vulnerable devices or the devices that need to be patched? So if a report is able to be scheduled, it can technically go internal or to a client. So depending on how much you want to share with them, the vulnerable systems report is a report that can be scheduled. So technically it can go to clients if you need. Another way to communicate it more of a high level, like if you just want to show them overall device totals, patched versus not patched, I would use the executive summary. Otherwise, this could be scheduled to go out. Mike is asking, how often are ticket automation tasks executed? Is there a plan to have them execute on trigger or without delay? And so, Daniel, just triple check. Is it once every hour or once every 2 hours?
It should be once about every hour, not on the hour, just about every hour. So, from any one point in time, it'd be less than 1 hour for it to run next.
Right. And so, Mike, I will pass along. That's definitely a common feature request for them to run more in real time. So I will add your vote to that because that is definitely something we'd like to see too. One of our favorite feature requests. And then I think you had a follow-up question to that. Currently, the conditions are grouped as using and logic only. Can we have or as well? I will pass that on too. I think we'd like to see or logic in both automated remediations and ticket automations. So I will go ahead and pass that along because I think that would be awesome. Okay, Morgan is asking, what is the best way to add billable time and deduct from a prepaid hour block? So when you are setting up your prepaid hour labor rates in the admin section, there are specific rates that you can have deduct from the prepaid hours. When you do that, it should be still logging reportable time, even though it's deducting from your block. And remember, to deduct, you do need to make an invoice to have that deduct. So where you can control that is if you've already pre-made your labor line items that are going to deduct from the prepaid hours, it's going to be in, why am I in invoices? We got to be in inventory. So we're going to be in inventory preferences and then under the category editor. So you can have your labor items that are going to be done from the prepaid hours. And then you can also make ones that are exempt. So if it's like, hey, they have a bucket, but I still need to bill them for project work and things like that, you can make sure that there are ones that are not deducting from the bucket. Hopefully that helps. Let me see if there's anything else I can grab really quick before I let the next person go. Okay.
Hannah, I'll
ahead.
say there was a question down towards the bottom that was asking, Chris asked about prepaid hours to not have it deduct from prepaid hours. And I think that you just answer that with if it's a labor subcategory of a labor, it would be in the labor time tracker, but it wouldn't deduct. So I just figured while you're on that page, I saw that. So
thank you so much. That is awesome. So yes, you'll need a prepaid hour exempt category that then exempts the labor line items from deducting. Hopefully that helps. I'll find the knowledge base article and drop it for us. And then I've just got one more. So with Craig, he's saying, I asked this before, but I missed the answer. Is it possible to bring back remote access for Synchro Live so you don't have to go all the way through backgrounding tools? That is a feature request at this time, but I will pass that along to the team.
I'm going to jump in here. There's another little round of accounting related questions. I don't know if I need to share my screen, but I'll just do it because otherwise my face is real big on the screen and I'd rather show off this cool little software instead. So Nazira asked about QuickBooks. Some invoices have been marked as paid in QuickBooks, but the payments have not synced over to Synchro. What is the best way to mark the Synchro copy of the invoice that's paid if the payment hasn't synced over from QuickBooks? So that setting that you can set up in the in your App Center with QuickBooks Online allows you to, we're basically polling QuickBooks saying, hey, is there a payment on this invoice that we sent to you? And QuickBooks is like, yes or no. If it's not syncing after 24 hours, it for some reason may not have captured that payment. So if it's not happening, you could just go into Synchro, and just manually mark it as paid. Would be probably the strategy I'd recommend there. And so if it's like a day and it hasn't synced, you can kind of catch that and just process that in Synchro there. So that would be what I'd recommend for that. Is there any way I can export invoices and import it into my accounting software, which will do a check if invoices are paid or not? And can I sync or import that back in Synchro? So it sounds like you're doing this with maybe a third-party accounting solution. So with QuickBooks Online and Xero, we, of course, will send invoices to those solutions. And if a payment's taken in that accounting software, we will import payments back over. For like any third-party solutions, I think that I would say like our API potentially could do that. In terms of checking if invoices are paid or not, it would probably be something that might need to be manual if you're using a third-party solution, though. I know there's at least one or two others down here. Yeah, so many questions. Scott said, sometimes we create an item that we leave the category filled blank. No good reason why, things happen. When we add that item to a PO and it syncs to QuickBooks Online, the item field is populated with the item type repair. So I don't have a good answer for this one. I just grabbed it because it said QuickBooks. And so I think that, I know that like we are not necessarily syncing categories over to QuickBooks. It sounds like it's kind of maybe syncing over to like a default item type of repair. And so that might be what I would say is happening in that scenario. I don't really have a good answer as to like why that's happening, but it sounds like there might be some reason where like the item's not getting created in QuickBooks Online. Essentially that it's happening in the category field specifically. So there might be something that our support team can like explore too and see if they can recreate and kind of put together some things that maybe our integrations team can explore there and fix or something too. I think there's some other invoice related questions, and I love invoices because invoices mean you might get paid, and if you get paid, that means you can keep on paying your bills, but you can keep on going, pay other people. So Joe asked, is there a way to email multiple invoices past due? And I think he had a and so in this scenario, you're also mentioning like kind of the invoice reminder message there. So like we have like the open invoices reminders that are set up. And so you might have that scenario where like you're kind of trying to like automate a little bit of like, hey, you haven't paid me, and they might have more than one invoice open. And so in this situation, as opposed to like an open invoice reminder kind of merging multiple invoices together, I would probably say that a good strategy might be to pull in like, email them a statement of their invoices. And so we have a reports page, which has a helpful place here. So you can also kind of see, some different reports here. This open balances by customer is a good one. And so this one, we can select them all and send them a statement. Now that might be a lot. I might not want to do, hey, last quarter, and I could pull that report and be like, wow, we haven't gotten our money from Peter. Come on, I thought Peter was cool with us, but we could send him a statement there. That could be something you could do as well. You can, of course, go into specific customers and view them, and then, email them a statement there as well. And so that statement, this PDF would show that off. It's going to include like all of their invoice activity. It'll also show like how much is current, past due, all that stuff too. So that's a helpful way of kind of handling that. So that'd be a good strategy to take on for like those multiple invoices, making sure those are getting paid out and stuff. And just quickly scrolling, I think there was somebody said at August. Oh, because I asked him a question. Okay, he the right side of the page, filter button, select an asset, save search. Page populates on the left, pop-up opens, you must be closed. Okay, so when you select a save search here, you're grabbing that, and then it's doing that. I think it's because of the URL call. I'm not sure why it's doing that specifically, and it's popping that up, but I would say that's why it's happening. It's probably like a little bit of a UI type thing that would be nice to calm down, but it'd probably be more like on that, yeah, kind of a feature type thing there. So I think it's happening because of like the UI call that I'm like the URL call we're making to like just show that filter there. So yeah, thanks for following up and clarifying what you're looking for there. I don't know. I just see this if it's QuickBooks Desktop, Mike. If it's QuickBooks Desktop, all bets are off. No, it's a little bit different. We don't sync payments back in. I think it's about payments back into Synchro. QuickBooks Desktop doesn't have the opportunity to pull payments back in. And so it's about that, because I think that's what I was just talking about. So cool. All right. I'm feeling like we're on the timer. We're about to like get in our 2-minute drill here or something. We got.
Yeah, we are. So we're going to be like really rapid for the next 14 minutes. This is your 14-minute warning to grab the awesome links that Hannah's been dropping in there. I am going to have Daniel answer Ari's question, but while he's doing that, I'm going to launch a poll. It just helps us know like the content that we should be adding to our open office hours and making it better. So if you guys wouldn't mind, it takes literally a half a second just to click on one of these. It would be awesome to know if you're seeing Synchro for the first time, have a trial, have had a trial in the past, or if you're paying for Synchro. So we welcome all here, but we really appreciate it. So I'll give it to you, Daniel.
Thank you. Ari asked, what are some best practices for ticket setup automation when you're working with an outsource help desk? So here I will share my screen. I would use two things: combination of ticket customer custom fields with the ticket automation. So with customer fields, custom fields, you can add important information like need to know. You can have hyperlinks, right? So maybe one of your fields here is specific information that you want the outsource help desk to understand about your particular client. And then when you head over into ticket automations, actually, I think I have one already made here for you. So you build something like this. You'd say when my ticket is new and my last automation has not run, or the last subject is not automation, I want to add a private comment to this ticket that's going to pull in that customer custom field. You can have multiple tags here. You can search your tags down here. I'm going to change the status. This way you're adding the specific information you want the outsource help desk to know. Maybe a link they need to go to. Maybe it's escalation instructions. But that would probably be probably what I'd go for.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to jump in. Daniel gave me some additional information on his invoicing question. Thank you, Daniel. You said you basically have customers who should like just never get an invoice. There are only a couple customers that you are wanting to receive invoices. There's not necessarily a do not bill or email invoices selection on the customer record. Now, all of the invoices inside of Synchro have settings so that they're not automatically sent. So on the recurring invoice schedule, if you have invoices that are getting created, but you don't want them emailed, just jump into the recurring email section and on their template, make sure it doesn't get emailed. That way they're not receiving things that they shouldn't. And so hopefully that helps. Let me scroll back up here. We'll get some of these other things going. Boss is wondering, I would like to have network inventory feature with adding all of the network devices. So we don't have network discovery, but you can do an asset import and our technical support team can help you with that. So if you want to fill out an asset CSV with all of your network devices, we can help you get that imported. Just reach out to the technical support team to help you with that. Todd, I am writing your answer. And then Jason is asking, it appears that there is not an option to change ticket issue type via automation. Is there any way to do this? And I think there was another question about ticket issue type. So you are correct that in the ticket automations, you can't. Ticket issue type is a condition. It's not an action. If you're wanting to edit ticket issue types in kind of an automated fashion, there's a couple ways to do it. One way is through the mailbox. So in the mailbox, if you want to have different mailboxes that open into different issue types, this is one place to do it. Another place is through creating different agent contact forms for your system tray. So in the system tray, under the policy section in an agent contact forms, you can put different forms that are in the system tray icon that then open into different issue types. These can even prompt different custom field types. So then that way, if you've got worksheets attached to them or fields that you want your team to fill out, that way you can kind of automate that as well. And then it sometimes does come down where, hey, we kind of want this customer to pick their issue type. Use a widget. So in the admin section, underneath the custom widgets, you can give them the ability to pick that issue type. And sometimes people just stick this in the URL field in the system tray icon so that they can select the particular issue type that they are wanting to communicate to you. Sometimes they're wrong, but you'd be able to give them that option.
I'm going to chime in really quickly. I have a couple people I'm going to request to email me. So the BAA, Fuzi, send me an email and I'll ping our team. It's typically about 24 hours, but I know she's been out. So I'll get that going for you. Just send me an email. And some of you guys are in a trial or seeing Synchro for the first time or have an older trial and maybe it's not active anymore. If that group applies to you, please send me an email. I'll drop my email address. Would love to get you connected with one of these amazing people here today to answer any questions, to walk you through new features, chat with you, see what we can do. We would love to connect. I promise we're a really fun sales team. We're not pushy in any way. We just want to make sure everyone's taken care of and we can help solve some of your pain points. So I'll drop my email address. Please don't send feature requests or technical support questions there.
So I've used Zoom before, I promise, but I accidentally hit answer live and you can't undo the answer live to type out the answer. So I'm just going to quickly find those ones that I said I was going to answer live because I can't type out the answer. Regarding ticket automations, is not updated in hours, clock hours, or business hours. It is clock hours. I'm pretty positive. I think that, that's just based on like how many hours since it's been updated. I don't think that that's using business hours logic there. Because it was existing before business hours became a thing. And the other one was, oh no, people are, so we're gonna give some feedback to Zoom webinars, I think. On the email for tickets, is there a way to add just the most recent message rather than the whole chain? Emails could get very long. Did a quick research there. It looks like there's only, there isn't, like there's a template tag for like initial comment and there's a template tag for like comment body, but there isn't one for last comment body, which probably would be what you're looking for. So unfortunately there isn't one for that scenario. So yeah, that'd probably be a feature-y type request too. Okay, there we go. I'll start typing answers.
I got a couple that I can go ahead and answer. Gary, you were asking if CyberDrain is still building scripts for us per month, and if so, are we able to put in suggestions for them to be voted on? Yes, they are in the actual scripting section. Oh, hold on one second. I got too many windows open over here. When you go into the community script library, when this loads, I apologize. I'm having some bad internet today. Right up here, you can hit that suggest a script button and it'll bring you to another page and you'll be able to handle that as well. Hey, Nick, I just looked up your email address in regards to your ticket worksheet configuration. I'm going to go ahead and send you over a video of me walking through it for you with a little bit more in detail because I want to make sure that you're getting the full breakdown and not the 30-second availability that I got to do it right now. So look out for that. It'll come over shortly right after this. And I'll take this one from Ali as well. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe year-to-date money being added to the admin panel would be a feature request. Is that correct, team? Almost positive, but I will go ahead and put that in there for you, Ali. I can understand why that would definitely be very, very important. See if there's any others that are pretty quick.
I have a couple in here. A lot of you guys, like 4 of you guys, asked about third-party patching with Chocolaty and how there's not the update if present. That is only for the ones that are hard-coded. There's like 20 or 25 applications that we used to only have those 20 or 25 applications. You're sharing your screen. I don't know if you mean to, but the others are not, and that's because they're pulling from their community repository. So we would like those change every single day. We can add the requests, but again, that's from their community repository. We are not adding those 9,000 applications, but we'll add the request. There's a lot of you guys with that one. So, and then I think there was just one more in here that I was going to take. So Tim is asking, is there a way to set daily script schedules to not happen on the hour? So a couple of things with that. Let me just share my screen real quickly. I know they're going to kick me out of here. So with your scripts, like if you do want to schedule to run scripts, you can specify what time they're going to start and then the frequency. So if you don't want it to be hourly, this might be a way that you could do it. So I'm just here in the asset screen. I select them and then I went to manage and to run scripts. So that was just one of the quick, easy ways I could think of to do it there.
All right, I have one from Joa. I think I'm saying that right. Is only one contact allowed for Splashtop per customer, or can the customer have multiple users? Hope that makes sense. Makes tons of sense. I'll show you how you do it. It's actually pretty easy to get set up here. But once you go to your customer page, so we have the awesome Peter Parker web solution, which I still love that name, by the way. On your contacts, you'll see everyone listed within the company itself, and you just scroll on down, enable remote access for that specific contact, and you would just do it for however many or as little as you'd like.
Three minutes. Johnny, I love Syncro. I need it to be actively enhanced. Are you still working to advance the product? Absolutely. Like this group here, we just had the VP of product come chat with us yesterday to talk about 2022 and forward. We've got a lot of really awesome stuff. So yes, it's absolutely being enhanced, like really awesome.
I'll go ahead and drop the fireside chat in the chat box. If anybody missed that, that is with Andy, who I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen before, who's on the product team as well as our, who Brandy just mentioned, who definitely went through a lot of cool details about what's to come. Oh, and Brandy was there. She hosted it. So if you want to see Brandy again, check out the fireside chat.
I think there was, I'll just follow up on this real quickly. So Joe is asking about Splashtop. So you'll either specify either their own devices or all devices within that, that particular organization.
Brandy, you are incredibly fast at hitting that answer live button. I will tell you that.
Sometimes it's like, boom, you don't even have time to breathe. I'm so happy we had all of us today because it really helps break it up. Honestly, we had like a list of things that we were going to share with you guys. There were no awkward silences today. This was like such an awesome group. It does look like, yes, Jeremy, have a fantastic weekend. It looks like there may be a couple extras. If you didn't get your question answered, we definitely encourage you to click on that community.syncromsp.com link and join us. They're going to be making some really exciting changes to open office hours as well. We are happy you guys allowed us to join you guys today. And if you're working with one of the account execs here, feel free to shoot them a message if you need anything at all. Thanks so much for joining us on your Friday.
Thank you, everybody. So good to see you.
Thanks, everyone. It's been awesome.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
See ya.